Eric's going to listen in.
Yeah, that'll work.
Straight up 6 o'clock, you want me to go? Or you want
Sure.
Is everyone here?
Everyone's here.
I'll be as loud as I can.
As long as it doesn't time out.
Yeah. I don't think there's a timeout.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Good. I'm obviously really excited to be here. I'm Travis. I've met most of you once before. Some of you I've talked to a few times. It's good to start getting to know people and understand the work you're doing. I really appreciate all of y'all meeting with me today for your monthly safety training. The KPA was released by an email to the municipality that kind of fell flat. Not a lot of people are doing it. The trainings through this program that the municipality has us on are required to be done. This is going to help fulfill that requirement. They can also be done on the computers when you have time. Obviously, this time of year, we don't have time. So meetings like this are the way to do it. And honestly, I think they're better training programs because then we can talk. For those who like to another overview on how to get to the KPA trainings, in case you deleted the email, because I'm running into that a lot. On your Anchorage, the Anchorage Users homepage, when you pull it up, if you drop applications, you scroll down to Safety Training KPA Flex. Hit it. Either sign in or create a sign in if you haven't done it before. Nope. I use the sign in here. I have never used the bottom one. I don't know what it does, so I'm going to stick to the top one. Here it'll give you a overview of different trainings you need to complete, what's been assigned. I know quarterly they're going to assign 3 to 4 from the municipality that they would like completed in X amount of time. That's great. If we do them out of order, that's fine too. If we take a little longer, good. If we get them all done super quick, fantastic. We've got a lot of flexibility here to get these things done because our schedules all are so diverse. Everyone I meet has a different kind of working environment and schedule. Not everybody has access to a computer all day. That's why we're doing these. So from here, that's where you would get. From here, you have easy selections to get to take those trainings. That's how you get it. Real simple. It can be downloaded on the phone as an app, and also taken on a computer. So today, what we're doing, we have to kind of help introduce it. One training, we're going to do ladder safety. It's step ladder safety, something you use probably more at home than on your jobs, but you do use them on your jobs and your facilities, and you do have them here. So we do want to focus on something that covers. It's good for a lot of people. It is OSHA required, and it's also union required that we present these trainings, and hopefully we get something out of them. At any time you have a question, we'll stop talk. I'll have questions. I have questions myself that maybe y'all can help me answer too. So let's see what we can do with this. What I'm going to do right here, most people will not be able to see a full list, but I have a trainings library of about 260 different trainings to purchase. That I'm going to go to portable ladder safety today. We will get on this. I just have to do my alphabet.
Have we have to go through all these?
No, thank goodness. Most of these you'll never have to get through. They sell these things in large packages, and they do that because we have to train such a wide variety of people that we have a lot to choose from. The whole goal is to have a lot to choose from. Some safety meetings are more safety meetings, like a toolbox or a tailgate meeting. So 5-10 minute trainings that cover just some basics, and some of the larger OSHA required ones that have a little more content. And so we have all of those different things, different tools to help meet requirements, but also to get that information out and help teach. Portable ladder safety, it covers about 35 minutes. Do y'all have 35 minutes? Yep, all right, good. Well, let's get right to it. And let's hit portable ladder safety.
of lost hours, legal fees, and medical bills. And 300 of these injuries lead to the death of an employee. One such injury occurred on December 9th, 2016. An employee chose to use a damaged ladder to access an I-beam in order to change some light bulbs. The ladder failed, sending the employee crashing into the concrete floor below, which killed him instantly. A proper inspection of the ladder could have prevented this tragedy. This is just one reason not to take any ladder usage lightly, and always follow recommended safety procedures when working at height. Portable ladder use is a leading cause of on-the-job accidents. Fatalities and injuries from ladder use are most often because of ladder instability, electric shock, and falls. Instability usually occurs when personnel climbs up or down ladders. Falls and instability are also often caused by setting your ladder up at an incorrect angle. Most ladder accidents are caused by improper planning, selection, inspection, or use. Employees who are familiar with these 4 principles of ladder safety will prevent on-the-job injuries and fatalities. Please select any topic to begin. Planning and preparation. Plan out your ladder placement, routes of travel, and where to restrict access. Proper planning and preparation is essential before you begin any task involving a ladder. Consider environmental hazards, good housekeeping, and personal protective equipment. The next slide will introduce common environmental hazards and review good housekeeping. When assessing a task requiring a ladder, there are many common hazards that need to be addressed. Pedestrian traffic is always a concern. Someone walking into your work zone puts everyone's safety at risk. Make sure to lock and barricade doors that may allow someone to access your work area. Prevent passers-by from putting themselves at risk by blocking off dangerous areas. Working around corners is especially hazardous. Warn pedestrians by posting signs at each approach. Be aware of any energized electrical equipment in your work area or above your head. When working near live electrical equipment, reduce your risk of electrocution by using a non-metallic ladder made of fiberglass or wood. Good housekeeping in your work area is essential. Debris or spills create additional hazards and can mask conditions that lead to unstable footing. Make sure to clean up and remove anything that is not necessary from your work area. Weather is also an important consideration. Rain, ice, and snow dramatically increase the risk of slip hazards. Extreme winds will cause instability when transporting or ascending a ladder. Remember, the more prepared you are to address these common hazards, the safer you and your coworkers will be while working at height. Personal protective equipment is the last line of defense between you and the hazards you are required to work with every day. Safety glasses, hard hats, and protective footwear are some of the most fundamental options an employee has. With each task, there are unique considerations. Each chemical and piece of equipment used will have specific instructions on how to stay safe when using this product. If you have any questions about the PPE you should be using, make sure to discuss it with your supervisor in order to review the hazards you need to be aware of.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to ask about shoes. Everybody doing good with shoes? Do you have the shoes that are required for the type of work you're doing? Everybody's doing good. I do see some tennis shoes in the room. That's okay if your job allows that. If your job allows that, that's fine. If not, if your shoes or your boots are something that your union requires to be of a certain type, that the job requires a certain type, let's talk to your managers and make sure you do have good footwear and your feet are being protected. It's your first step to keep from slipping on a ladder is taking care of your shoes right there. Thank you.
Ladder selection. Choose the right ladder based on the task at hand. All ladders, regardless of their purpose, must meet certain design criteria. The top steps are never used to stand on. Labels and duty rating must be legible and clearly marked. Rungs and steps must be slip resistant. They may not move, shift, or extend while in use. The ladder must have secure and stable footing. There are 4 types of ladders commonly used in commercial and industrial settings. Select any one to learn more. An extension ladder is a combination of 2 or more single ladders attached together with brackets that allow sliding. These ladders are not self-supporting. Any structure the ladder is leaning against must be capable of supporting the intended load. Extension ladders are typically used to access higher elevations, such as building siding or roofs. When using an extension ladder to access a platform, the ladder must extend at least 3 feet above that walking surface. A stepladder is a self-supporting A-frame style ladder. In general, steps are mounted between 2 front rails and braces are mounted between 2 rear rails. A spreader locking bar must be available on step ladders and must be fully extended and locked into place before use. Step ladders are routinely used to access typical maintenance heights, such as painting or light fixture repair. An articulated ladder can be used as either a step ladder or extension ladder. Oftentimes, they can be configured for unique spaces, such as stairways. Pay particular attention to the locking hinges. If not set right, they can lead to ladder failure. A mobile ladder stand is a movable, fixed-height, self-supporting ladder. Guardrails are required for any mobile ladder higher than 4 feet. Platforms and steps are required to be slip-resistant. The wheels on the mobile ladder stand must not allow movement when an employee accesses the steps. Many systems are set up with a weight locking mechanism, which sets brakes into place once a user stands on it. Make sure to periodically inspect the condition of those brakes. Mobile ladder stands are commonly used in industry settings where the work performed at elevation may take a significant amount of time, or the job may involve numerous equipment to be taken to the elevated height. Knowing the various types of ladders allows you to choose the best solution for your specific needs. Next, we will cover material choices, sizes, and duty ratings. Size, material, and duty rating all play important roles in determining the safety of a ladder for a particular job. Select each consideration to learn more. Extension ladders are generally the tallest option, ranging from 10 to 60 feet. Step ladders range from 3-foot step stools to 20 feet maximum. Articulated ladders range from 3 feet to 30 feet and are a hybrid between extension and step ladders. Mobile ladders start around 3 feet tall and max out around 16 feet. Choosing the appropriate size for your task is important to keep you safe. It is dangerous to use a ladder that is too long or too short. Ladders are constructed with a variety of material types, each with different uses. Understanding why certain materials are better in different circumstances is very important. Wood. Wood insulates the user from heat and cold, and ages quickly if left untreated. Aluminum. Aluminum is lightweight and resistant to rust, conducts electricity, and does not insulate against heat or cold. Fiberglass. Fiberglass is weather resistant, resistant to corrosive chemicals. When clean and dry, does not conduct electricity, and is very heavy and tends to chip and crack.
So Benna from the last group, they said that we don't have any wooden ladders. Does anyone here know of any wooden ladders tucked away in a corner?
My shed.
Your shed.
My shed.
Your shed. Throw it away. You kill a wooden ladder.
I'm gonna use it as a plant stand. That's the only reason I've been keeping it around.
Fair enough. That's about the best use for an old wooden ladder. They fail, they absorb, and they expand and contract the moisture, and you can't tell where the cracks are a lot of times. I just encourage, and anyone I've ever been to, just don't have wooden ladders on a job site. They're just not needed anymore. And from what I understand, we don't do that. If you see one or know of one, let somebody know or huck it in a dumpster. Yes, honey.
You use it as a plant
Or you use it as a plant stand, because that makes sense.
Selecting a ladder with the proper duty rating for your weight will prevent structural collapse. Never assume a taller ladder has a higher duty rating. There is no relationship between ladder height and duty rating. Each duty rating has a specific load capacity. Ensure your load capacity considerations include the weight of the tools you will be working with, personal protective equipment, and any other materials that may impact the weight on the ladder. These three options for your ladders have different safety implications for various on-the-job tasks. Next, we will go over a few common tasks that require ladders and review the environmental considerations that dictate our ladder choices for each scenario. Let's get started. The following slides will introduce common on-the-job tasks that require a specific ladder to perform the job safely and effectively. For each scenario, there are relevant questions concerning the safest ladder choices. Do your best to test your knowledge of ladder safety. Select any task to begin. Task 1. Change light bulbs for the security lights around the outside of an auto dealership 15 feet above the ground. Your company has two types of ladders available. Which is the most appropriate?
You want a 16-foot extension ladder or an 8-foot step ladder? We've got to get up 15 feet above the ground to work on some security lights. Which would you choose? Extension. Extension, okay.
Correct. The extension ladder is tall enough and will easily allow the user to reach the light fixture on the side of the building. The step ladder in this case is not tall enough for a 5-foot person to reach 15 feet high. Hazard: energized electrical wires and junction boxes. Your company has two different materials available in 16-foot extension ladders. Which is most appropriate?
Aluminum or fiberglass? Why? Glass it is.
Correct. A non-conductive material like fiberglass would reduce the risk of electrocution in case the ladder contacted any charged utility. Hazard: showroom door access. How would you control access to this door while changing the security light's bulb? Select both if appropriate.
So we'll lock the door and hang a sign. Do what?
What if it's an emergency exit?
I know, right? What if it's an emergency exit? You notify the people inside of the work you're doing, make sure they have a secondary exit to the side. So you get some hazard awareness out to the people you're working around, let them know what's going on.
Correct. Multiple controls are necessary to ensure this door is not used while the security light is being accessed. In general, this type of work should be done when the least amount of pedestrian traffic is using the facility. After hours or very early may be advisable. Weight of employee, 209 pounds. Weight of tools, 37 pounds. Your company has two different duty ratings available in 16-foot extension ladders. Which is most appropriate?
The 209 and 37. Now you gotta make us do math. What, is that 246?
250.
So you're gonna select one that has a higher rating than the combined weight.
Correct. A duty rating over the combined weight of 246 pounds is needed. The heavy duty rating at 250 pounds satisfies this. Because this weight is so close to the 250-pound maximum, consider finding a super heavy duty ladder rated for a 300-pound maximum load. Task 2. A detail employee at a wash facility is tasked with washing a 10-foot tall rectangular trailer. The sides and roof need to be cleaned completely. Of the options below, which ladder would be best?
Which one did you pick? You think step ladder?
Or no, the one
Or rolling ladder, this one?
roll.
Correct. A rolling ladder stand provides more stability when working at height. Plus, there is a better working surface to clean from and store all the necessary equipment and chemicals. Hazard. The trailer could begin rolling if anything contacts it. What steps could you take to ensure the trailer remains secure? Select both if appropriate.
What do you think? So we're gonna chalk the wheels. What about these warning things around it? Is that easy to work with a ladder, with a rolling ladder? You gotta roll the ladder close to it. Let stuff be in the way, or would you wanna use it? Or I wouldn't wanna use it, okay. So we're gonna chalk the wheels, that's it.
Correct.
All right.
Chalking the wheels in on both sides would create the safest scenario for everyone in the shop. If anyone or anything bumped into the trailer hard enough, it could roll over a foot or into another vehicle. Hazard. The employee needs to clean the center of a trailer roof. Which would be the correct action to reach the spot?
So a lot of it's pretty common sense. You want something you can reach out with. Obviously climbing out on top of a roof, I would probably do it if I'm at the house, but here you really would like to keep good footing on this platform while you're working. Y'all have these type of ladders?
Yes.
These rolling ladders, you do have them? Okay, okay, good.
Correct. Staying within the guardrails of the mobile ladder will provide the employee a safe working surface. Specialized tools can be used to reach awkward spaces. Hazard. Corrosive chemicals and water use around ladders. The company has tasked this employee with purchasing a stepladder for use when washing involves corrosive chemicals. There are 3 different materials to select from. Which ladder material would be most appropriate?
Wood, aluminum, glass, what's gonna be the least affected by soaps, basically corrosion?
Correct. Excellent. Fiberglass would be the best choice because of its resistance to corrosion and water damage.
Well, I find it funny, when is fiberglass not the best choice?
Fire.
Fire? Why fire? So the fiberglass would melt? The what?
Smell like
Mine? Would a wooden one, wood, it could burn.
that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and aluminum is, that sucker will melt. I don't know, fire's interesting. I asked that because they never really clarified, but it seems like if you go to fiberglass, you're right 99% of the time. Weight, I think they go into it at least once later about weight. When you're moving something around a lot, fiberglass is a little heavier than aluminum. Right here.
Task 3. An employee is tasked with painting the walls of a new conference room. The room has a 13-foot ceiling. The area where the wall meets the ceiling will need careful painting to avoid paint getting on the ceiling. The room has a conference table with multiple chairs that are difficult to move. Of the options below, which ladder would be best?
Rolling ladder, step ladder, extension ladder. You're gonna work in this conference area, these chairs, for some reason they think they can't move them. And you gotta paint along this wall. Which ladder would you pick? Which one? Step ladder, okay.
Correct. A stepladder will allow easier mobility when moving frequently as necessary. Hazard. Ladder size. The available stepladder sizes at the facility include a 6-foot stepladder and a 12-foot stepladder. If the ceiling is 13 feet tall, which ladder would be a better choice?
So the ceiling's 13 feet tall, we've got a 12-foot ladder and a 6-foot ladder. 12, right. If you only have a 6-foot ladder, you just, if you're painting, I guess with a roller or a sprayer, you should be able to reach, right? Just use a longer stick on the roller. So there are ways to work with shorter ladders if you use other tools to help you make that reach other than climbing higher up on the ladder, which is shorter.
Correct. The 12-foot ladder is still the better choice to reach the 13-foot elevation needed without using the top step. Hazard. Frequently moving the ladder. Which stepladder material would be best in a situation requiring constant ladder movement?
Aluminum.
Correct. Yes, the aluminum ladder would be best due to its light weight. This will put less stress on the employee who is frequently moving the ladder. These scenarios demonstrate common risks people face every day when utilizing ladders to perform their jobs. Knowing exactly why to choose a specific material, type, size, or duty rating is very important to everyone's safety in the workplace. Inspection and maintenance. Proper inspection and maintenance of your ladders keeps users safe. A complete inspection is conducted before using a ladder, after a ladder incident, or any time damage is suspected. All inspections should be documented and filed for future reference. At a minimum, inspect the following: rungs, residue, loose hardware, broken or bowed rails and braces, wood slivers, dents, cracks, or corrosion, treads and end caps, labels, and duty rating. Step ladders and extension ladders have unique components that will be reviewed if you are using that type of ladder, as noted in our downloadable ladder inspection checklist, located in the resources above.
So we do monthly inspections on your facilities. We run a checklist like this. But you also need to do these as you go through. When you're going to look at one, take a good look at the ladder. Make sure they have good shoes. That you have good shoes, that ladder has good feet. Make sure you keep real good and secure. Take a good hard look at ladders when you use them. And do a good look to keep yourself safe. But we do this with the municipality and maintain records on our equipment.
Click on each plus sign to learn more about these extension ladder checklist items.
Right. End caps. End caps should not be missing or damaged. So that's the cap at the very top. Rungs and rung rail connections. Ensure all rungs are not bent and intact. Connections to the rails are secure and no rungs are missing. Rope and pulley. Frayed ropes or damaged pulleys need to be replaced. Tangled rope is straightened and secured. All surfaces, rails, and rungs should be free of oil, grease, rust, and corrosion. All slippery or sticky surfaces should be cleaned completely. Labels. The duty rating is legible. The ladder materials, maximum height are listed. Labels are not torn or missing. Rungs, locks. So rung locks should operate smoothly. All hardware should be free of corrosion, cracks, or pins. Feet. Look for missing, worn, or damaged shoes. Feet should rotate smoothly and be slip resistant. This is the easiest find for OSHA, and almost everywhere they go, they hit ladders because we use them so often in so many different work environments. It just becomes a familiar tool. They don't like the label. The label's missing, painted over, got oversprayed, peeling off. This rope starts getting frayed out. Then they hit us. Because they want your safety. OSHA can be tough on us, but ideally it's about worker safety to do these different things. But a good ladder inspections, putting them up good at the end of the day, we stay ahead of that.
Click on each plus sign to learn more about these stepladder checklist items.
Rungs and rail connections. Ensure all rungs are not bent and intact. Connections to the rails are secure and no rungs are missing. Your paint shelf operates smoothly and all hardware is intact. Spreader. Hardware is not damaged in any way and locks appropriately. All surfaces, rails, and rungs should be free of oil, grease, rust, and corrosion. All slippery or sticky surfaces should be cleaned completely. Labels. The duty label is legible. The material and maximum height are listed. Labels are not torn or missing. Rails are not bent, cracked, or corroded in any way. All connections are secure with no missing hardware. What I find is this spreader right here starts sagging. Especially on aluminum, over time you'll have one sag more than the other. It's a good indicator that you have loose structural integrity of that ladder and it needs to be replaced. When these start sagging out real bad, as they do, and that is definitely when they're getting old enough to need replacement. Feet, look for missing, worn, or damaged shoes.
Document your inspection, and if you find problems, take action. Ladders should be repaired if possible. When repair is not possible, ladders need to be discarded. The ladder pictured here is unrepairable and should be removed from service to prevent future injuries.
What does repairing a ladder mean to you? Put a little tape on it? All right. Repairing a ladder would be something that can be mechanically replaced. Talking about shoes, pulley, a rope, not a rung, not the structure. Those have to go. What we need are really when ladders get aged, and Paul's brought this out, that we replace them. But there's no questions. If there's a problem with the ladder, we replace it, we get you a new ladder. We're just not gonna mess around about it.
Develop a regular maintenance plan for your ladders and fall protection equipment. Schedule comprehensive maintenance during seasonal downtime. Seal wood ladders to increase their longevity. Maintain lacquer on fiberglass ladders. Tighten and replace hardware. Lubricate bearings. And replace worn or frayed ropes on extension ladders. Safe work practices. Knowing safe work procedures prevents injury and death. Poor work practices cause injuries. Click each no icon to identify specific poor practices you should avoid.
Look at that picture. You can see quite a few things wrong with it. You got a picture, but you can see a bit. So he's overreaching. He's stretching outside of things, loses balance. Sitting sideways on a ladder, he's got the body twisted, it was working. Wrong size ladder, obviously it's not tall enough. Standing on the top step. Most everyone should have labeling on the ladder should say you can't stand on the top step. Slippery substance, he's got paint all over the rungs. Unstable footing, that's applying to the floor area he has selected. You've got some broken tile here. Your selection of where you're putting up your ladder is very important, especially in older buildings. Ladder movement. I found that interesting. It's got a shoe missing. That shoe's missing, it can cause it to move. And also that broken rung is also going to cause some flex here. Things to watch for on ladders. If you had a ladder in this condition, it just needs to be tossed before you ever started.
Proper work practices prevent injuries. Click each thumb icon to identify important best practices when working with ladders.
All right, it's about doing it right. Facing the ladder, so he's working directly where he's in front of him. He's not twisting his body off to the side. Centered on that ladder, that's where you're safest. Centered on the ladder. An appropriate ladder, it's tall enough where he's not overreaching. Again, he put a stick on this roller, get higher. Stationary ladder, so it is a good stationary position. 2 steps down from the top. Dry and clean. And stable footing. Are you getting any paintwork done if you're dry and clean? I don't stay clean when I paint.
There are several prohibited practices that are not allowed when using ladders. Never use the top 2 steps of an extension or step ladder. Do not make a ladder taller by placing it on a temporary support. Do not combine 2 ladders together unless designed to do so. And do not use portable ladders as a permanent work surface.
This would be a good spot to put something funny in, because YouTube is just covered up and people falling off of ladders.
Positioning your ladder at the correct angle is one of the easiest ways to prevent slipping and unstable conditions when working with ladders. Ensure the base of the ladder is 1/4 the height of the ladder support away from the wall. This creates about a 75-degree angle. Test that you have the proper angle by placing your feet at the base of the ladder and outstretching your arms. At the correct angle, your arms should touch the rungs comfortably when they are completely extended. Aside from the manual techniques for measuring your ladder angle, NIOSH has an app that can measure your ladder angle exactly. This app also covers basic ladder safety awareness, similar to the content in this course. Move the sliders sideways to adjust the ladder angle to 75 degrees. Click the check angle button when you think you have it correct.
Slide this around. Tell me when I get 75 degrees. Stop right there. All right, let's check it.
Incorrect. This angle is too shallow. A user risks the ladder sliding out from underneath them, causing the operator to collapse on top of the ladder once it hits the ground.
Let's try.
One more over, the other way.
This other way.
No.
Wow. Don't want that?
Maybe.
Correct.
Right.
This ladder is at 75 degrees. 75 degrees is the angle when your ladder is set up at a 1:4 ratio between the distance to the wall and the distance from the ground to the support point. This angle is the perfect balance between being too steep, where you may fall backwards, or too shallow, where you may have the ladder slide out from underneath you. Always maintain at least 3 points of contact, either both feet and one hand, or both hands and one foot when using ladders. Do not carry loads while on a ladder. Use a tool belt or hand line to transport items. Do not use any adjacent surface for additional support. Accessing a roof from a ladder requires the ladder rails to be extended 3 feet above the platform's surface. Always ensure that your rung locks are secure before climbing. Top rails must be adequately supported by the roof edge or a stabilizer. This extension of rails provides a secure handhold for getting on and off the ladder to and from the platform. Ideally, ladders should only be used on level and stable surfaces. However, this is not always possible. Working with ladders on uneven surfaces requires a ladder leveler to create an even surface at the base. Never use makeshift items such as milk crates, boxes, pallets, or any other temporary support. When unstable surfaces are present, take extra care and secure the ladder to the top of the structure as well.
Anyone ever use one of these? We got one. Not common. Not common. I've seen with painters working in stairwells. The only time I've ever seen them used. They're usually manufactured, designed to fit that specific ladder. So if you have one, you probably bought it when you bought the ladder for a specific job. They are pretty uncommon.
Extension ladders come with recommended safety specifications regarding the overlap between fly sections. The longer the extension ladder, the more overlap is required to ensure the ladder is stable at its full extension. Review these overlap requirements for the sizes of ladders you use, and make sure your overlap is appropriate for that size ladder.
So for a 0 to 36 foot ladder length, you want a 3 foot overlap between these two. 36 to 48 feet, 4 foot of overlap. 48 to 60 feet, 5 feet of overlap. To keep from overextending the ladder and losing that stability.
Use caution while transporting and storing ladders. Plan your path of travel. Lift with your legs. If alone, lift the ladder from the middle and request assistance if needed. Ladder storage must be dry and protected from heat and sunlight. Vertically stored ladders should be hung from the top rungs that are not used as steps. For horizontal storage, support hooks should be located every 6 feet and at both ends to prevent unnecessary stress on the side rails. Overreach is just one example of poor work practices in this picture. Drag each example to the problem on the photo.
So we're going to take overreach where it literally says overreaching. An unstable item looks like a bucket that's loose. 3-point rule, he's got a leg off the ladder.
That's right. You selected the correct response. In summary, assess the hazards for each task. Select the right ladder. Inspect all ladders before use. Extension ladders must be placed at the correct angle. Wear proper PPE. Transport ladders carefully. And perform preventative maintenance. You have covered all of the ladder safety awareness material in this course: planning, selection, inspection, and safe work procedures. Please proceed to the quiz next to evaluate what you have learned.
See, now you didn't know there was going to be a test, so if you fell asleep, you're in trouble. I'm not calling anybody out. Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
We're good, man. How are you?
Oh, he is awake. I didn't see the phone. I'll give you a hard time. Knowledge assessment. Here we go. Question 1. Climbing a ladder while using one arm to carry materials is considered safe if the free hand maintains constant contact to the ladder steps. Would that be true or false? Submit. The first step in preparing a safe ladder climb is inspecting the ladder, performing a hazard assessment, selecting an appropriate ladder, or safely positioning the ladder. Hazard assessment comes first. Right. Question 3. Which of the following is considered a hazard to ladder work? Choose all that apply. Are overhead electrical lines a hazard to ladder work? Yeah. How about electrical boxes? How about exposed electrical wires? How about uneven or unstable ground? What if it's windy or wet outside? Yeah. How about doors that open toward the ladder? So it looks like you clicked them all. Question 4. When working around overhead electrical lines, the following type of ladder may be used. Choose all that apply. So, what can I use around electrical lines? Use fiberglass? We're going to skip over metal? Can we use wood? Those are non-conductive things. An extension ladder is considered a self-supporting ladder? No. I know some of these questions are pretty basic. Question 6. Which of the following ladder height class is required to support a worker who weighs 220 pounds and is wearing a 35-pound tool belt? That's 255 pounds. We're going to go all the way up, or we're going to go at 250? All the way up. All right. Question 7. When do you need to conduct a ladder inspection? Choose the best answer. Prior to use, after an incident, if damage is suspected. All the above. Got it. Question 8. Which of the following is not a proper ladder maintenance procedure? Removing lacquer from fiberglass ladders. Preserve wood ladders with sealer varnish. Perform scheduled maintenance in the off-season. Lubricate metal bearings of locks, wheels, and pulleys. What does not fit? A. I have no idea when you would ever remove lacquer. Question 9. If the ladder must be placed on unstable surfaces and uneven terrain, select all that apply. Secure the ladder top to the work area. What do you think? Assure that the feet are slip resistant. Use a ladder leveler or other approved means to stabilize the base. Good, yeah, I know that. Question 10. The side rails of an extension ladder must extend at least blank above the upper support. I'm hearing 3 a lot. Could be 2. Question 11. Portable ladders may be used for long-term tasks if installed and designated as a permanent work surface. False. Question 12. When selecting an extension ladder that is 40 feet long, how many feet of overlap must there be between the 2 sections? 4 or 5? Here's funny, they don't let, at the end, they're gonna give me a score. They're not gonna tell me which ones I missed.
Oh, really?
It does, and I gotta find out. The last time we got 92% with the morning shift. It may have been this question that threw us off. So, show of hands 4. 3, 4. Show of hands 5. All right, we're going 5. Question 13, the 3-point contact rule requires 3 harness buckles attached to a ladder and belt. The ladder feet top must maintain contact with the ground and support structure. 3 contacts to the ladder with hands and feet at all times. Trestle ladder legs to maintain contact with the ground at all times. I really feel strong at that one. Yeah. Question 14, when storing ladders vertically, hang them near the blank rung. So hanging it vertically. For horizontal storage, provide hooks every blank feet and near both ends. All right, where are we? Top 6, top 4, center 5, or center 6? Top 6? All right. Thank you, 92%. Thing I think we got, and I got it figured out earlier, when we did selecting all the different hazards, putting up a ladder, we selected an electrical panel. An electrical panel, if it's closed behind, is not considered a hazard to that one. That's the only thing I could find. I still don't agree with it. That's okay. We can be more safe than what they're doing. This is just a minimum. So we tied with the other shift. There we go. What I will do is get the sign-in sheet from Josh and make sure that everyone gets credit in the KPA. And I'm going to let Mandy here take over.
Hey, real quick, everybody. Supervisors, leads, we'll have Hunter, but some of you guys, there may be some ladders tucked away that only your crew uses or that we don't know of. Everyone take the time to go through. You see a ladder that can't be repaired, that's even questionable, it's gone. Turn it in, let's get it out of here, and let's get ladders replaced. And then if you feel that we need different linked ladders, then let's go ahead and then let's just up that inventory a little bit. Get with your supervisor, get with Hunter, and let's get the ladders that we need, the types of ladders that we need that you guys are applying to your jobs. So, and then this is just the beginning. Like I said, we've been looking for a while for some good training. I think this is a vast improvement over the last training that we had, the computer stuff that we were doing. And now we actually have somebody here on a full-time basis that's going to give us that training. So let's take advantage of it. Anytime you see, let's say, everyone, like say, don't take for granted that these ladders are all good, because some of them probably aren't. So we're going to take the time this next week or so, and I ask you guys to put the effort into. If you see something you don't like, let's get rid of it. And the ladders and these hand tools that are safety type stuff, in the past we've sent them home, hey, put them in your shed. We don't want ladders and things going home. If a ladder's bad, it's bad at your house as much as it is here. So it goes in the dumpster, and let's get rid of it. All right, guys, appreciate everything you do. Be safe out there. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you. Any questions at all? If y'all ever have questions about anything or concern, reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And that's what I got.
Thank you.
I tell you, y'all and the night shift, y'all have been good class so far, because there are some groups that just don't like this training. That's okay. If y'all have some criticism,